Hello and welcome to my review of Doug DeMuro, the man who says this is a 2005 Hyundai Elantra GT. Although most YouTube presenter voices and catchphrases get annoying, us Doug fans are always delighted to hear him say, This is a But that's just one of Doug's many quirks and features. While there are many YouTube automotive titans like Scotty Kilmer, Chris Fix, and other more popular but soulless examples,
the biggest car meet in the world on Fortnite live,
Doug DeMuro is the ultimate car reviewer. For about a decade, he's been giving engaging reviews of the strangest, fastest, most luxurious, best, worst, and most mundane cars that exist, while meticulously ranking them with
a Doug score
that gives an overall rating by combining a weekend and daily category. DeMuro has reviewed over 580 cars to date, from the lowest, the BMW Isetta, to the highest, the McLaren Speedtail. A big reason that Doug has been so successful is that he doesn't take himself too seriously. We really don't need low 4K stabilized shots with high contrast lighting and cinematic color grading in the mountains in a theatrical aspect ratio with a dramatic voiceover and swelling orchestration with shots that start out of focus but slowly reveal the fact that you're talking about a Honda Accord. Doug's just there. The car's not romanticized, it's just sitting in an empty parking lot, and then Doug drives it in normal traffic conditions like you would if you owned it. Alright, in line with this grounded approach to reviews, Doug discusses what I care about. I don't need to know what the 0 to 60 time is unless it's pushing a record. I don't want a 5-minute discussion about the cornering feel. I don't care what the safety rating is. I'll happily die in a car with no seatbelts if it looks cool enough. What I need to know is what every single button, switch, dial, and knob does in the car. I need to see how big every compartment is. Tell me everything I could possibly want to know about the gauge cluster and infotainment system. Tell me where the fuel door is. How do I get out if I'm locked in the trunk? I'm never going to own a 2002 Maserati coupe, but I need to know that if I want to put it in reverse, I need to pull this weird little lever up and back. Moving to the interior of the Elantra GT, this car is packed to the brim with premium features. Starting on the door, this car has automatic power window. You heard that right. Not windows, just the one driver window. And the Korean engineers saw no reason why you might want to go up automatically, only down. Because of his great success, Doug is rolling in it. He makes Scrooge McDuck look like a little British orphan boy covered in coal. When you account for the fact that he's in one of the higher paying YouTube niches, he puts out about 8 reviews a month with other videos on top of that. His worst performing review from the past year still has over 200,000 views. On Colin and Samir, he said that
good videos would make $15,000 or $20,000 individually.
On the Iced Coffee Hour podcast, he said that he has about half his assets invested in index funds, and he has an enthusiast car auction website that an investment firm put $37 million into last year. Doug has a lot of money. As far as I'm concerned, he has infinite money. Unfortunately, this money has changed Doug for the worse. When he first started out, he kneeled directly on the asphalt just like the rest of us. But at some point, he developed a posh aristocratic sense of superiority and began laying a cushion on the ground to keep his knees safe and clean. Nowadays, Doug has stooped so low as to be seated in chairs. Just kneel on the ground next to the Porsche, Doug. Not all of us can afford chairs. Doug's biggest issue, though, is his refusal to sit in certain chairs. 6 years ago, he acknowledged his obligation as a 6'3" man explicitly.
I have become the person who has to climb into the rear seats of every uncomfortable car ever made.
But as of late, apparently Doug doesn't care enough about his audience to do what we all want, and the comments reflect this grievance. Thank God Doug's at least still willing to play with his shifter on camera. This is far from your ordinary Hyundai Elantra. The owner has made a few key modifications. While this vehicle came with an over 2-foot-long radio antenna, the owner has replaced it with an antenna that has a great personality. This has the additional benefit of making the reception very bad. Additionally, with the use of rust, the owner has not only disconnected the muffler from the rest of the exhaust, but also the exhaust altogether, giving this GT Elantra a powerful roar. I can only speak for myself, but I have way more interest in a Soviet Union car, Amazon delivery van, or meter-maid car than the newest Lamborghini. And Doug would agree with me. He is a self-described weird car guy, and I don't know of a large automotive YouTuber who rivals the level of attention that Doug gives to cars that you would have to pay most people to take. Doug has some interesting lore that casual viewers likely have no idea about. In 2005, when Doug was 16 and on his very first date, he saw a Porsche Carrera GT, but no one believed him. From then on, he carried a digital camera with him everywhere he went, and he eventually got a picture of a Carrera GT. This led to him being in an article by Automotive Magazine about his car spotting hobby. Someone at AutoTrader saw the article and gave Doug a writing job, which he started doing full-time and expanded his writing for other publications. After building a healthy following doing automotive online writing, a fan emailed Doug and suggested that he start making video reviews, which is a crazy idea. Nobody's making car review videos. He established such a big audience of car enthusiasts that he started Cars and Bids in 2020, and Cars and Bids became so successful that he was able to sell a portion of it for the previously mentioned $37 million. And to celebrate, he spent $1.25 million on his dream car that started it all, the Porsche Carrera GT. I did leave out some details of the story, like his model Carrera GT collection, so be sure to check out his video where he sits on the ground for 10 minutes talking about how he got the car. I think Doug's key feature that allows him to rise above his competition can be seen in his thumbnails. You may think that they're basic and they all look the same, but really they don't. 70% of the screen is dedicated to the car, which is different for all of them. Doug may have started this thumbnail format to hide his legs because he's always wearing cargo shorts, but it shows the intention of his videos. He doesn't try to make it about him, he makes the car as entertaining as possible while just being himself. And in a world where everybody's trying to flex their artistry, establish a brand, and hyper-optimize metrics, a likable guy with a popular interest can just talk about what he loves and become a star. With all that in mind, Doug DeMuro gets an 8 out of 10 on the definitive ranking of things, and Adam Ragusia, who I reviewed 3 years ago, has fallen off, so he is being demoted to below Doug on the list. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. Maybe check out some of my other videos if you have any interest in anything like water, bananas, quicksand, Scott the Woz. A bunch of other things. I don't know, just look at the channel. There's a lot of interesting stuff on there. Go check it out. Bye-bye.